Glacier Lake, Banff National Park, our first backcountry trip of the year. Okay, now he's ready. Hyped up, ready to go. That's one of my favorite drives. Highway 11 alongside of Abraham Lake, heading towards the Banff Park boundary, where we're gonna go to Glacier Lake, do a little 2-day backpacking trip. Cosley's first backpacking trip. Should be a good time.
He has a new backpack.
He does. I'll show you that when we get on the trail. I think we're gonna stop at Abraham Lake here though and just stretch our legs, let the dog out for a minute. He's been cooped up in his crate there. Hi, Cosley. He's been cooped up in there for, I don't know, 3 hours or so. Abraham Lake. Quite possibly one of the prettiest lakes in Alberta. There's this gorgeous glacier-fed blue color. It's a man-made lake. It's dammed off down at the end there. This is the North Saskatchewan River, actually. That's what feeds it mostly. Yeah. It's quite low right now. The water comes up a lot higher once the thaw really starts. But as you can see, still a lot of snow up in the mountains right now.
Cosley.
How's the water, buddy?
Cosley.
I will drink this entire lake. Can't blame him. A little cold for me to go for a swim, but hey, if he's happy, that's cool.
He's wearing a fur coat.
It's true.
I don't wear a fur coat normally.
Peeing in the lake, okay. Still working our way along Highway 11 towards Banff. We're almost there. The boundary of Banff should be coming up just right away here. If you look across, you can see the remnants of a huge forest fire actually that came through here about 4 years ago, 2014. We were actually planning on being down here that weekend and camping over in the Bighorn Backcountry, doing some random camping somewhere. But yeah, the smoke forced us out. It was, the road was closed, I think, from, in this area anyways, up to Saskatchewan River Crossing and the Macefields Parkway. You can see where it started to jump the road here. This is all burned out as well. They did some control stuff. They didn't let it go, insane. They let this area just kind of burn itself out because, well, forest fires are kind of scary and intense. They're actually very important for the health of the ecosystem. Clears out all the dead brush and lets things sort of rejuvenate and revitalize, lets animals get back into the areas and stuff like that. So anyways, yeah, kind of a cool looking different landscape. Some good looks at the really burned out stuff right there. Yeah, originally we were going to be camping up over that ridge somewhere and we wanted to come down here. It was 2014, so we changed it up and did something else instead.
What we did instead was still pretty cool.
Yeah, actually one of the nicest little waterfalls we've ever camped around up in Whitehorse Wildlands. It's pretty far north up towards Jasper. So it's a nice little spot. Here we go. Glacier Lake, Banff National Park, our first backcountry trip of the year. We are over here. Just gonna follow this path. GL9 campground right there. at the foot of Glacier Lake. And from there tomorrow we're probably going to go along the north side of the lake, continue on past the along the Glacier River here. Should be a good time. It's a May long weekend and the weather doesn't suck, so that's nice.
Last year on May long weekend, we did a really terrible hike in the pouring rain.
Yep. Yes, we did.
I mean, yeah, no, it was a pretty terrible hike.
Yeah, it was. Cosley's ready to get going. Rocking his brand new Mountain Smith K9 backpack. Both of these guys trying out new backpacks for the first time. Cosley's is a Mountain Smith K9. Dani's is a ULA Ohm 2.0. How's it feeling so far? Like 20 steps into the trail.
So far, so good.
Alright. Let us know.
It seems a lot slimmer than my other ones.
Right, even with the Cosley's mattress strapped to the side there?
Yep.
Yeah, nice. Oh, this is just beautiful. This is the North Saskatchewan River. It's kind of crazy to think that, what, about 400 kilometers from here. Funny dog. About 400 kilometers from here, this thing flows like right by our house almost. Same water.
Just ride it all the way back home.
Yeah. Oh man, imagine, that'd be great.
How long do you think that would take us?
Well, a long, long time. I don't know if you'd be able to because there's dams and stuff in the way. It makes it kind of difficult.
There's something wrong with this.
Oh, there's a fox over there.
Is it?
Yeah, he just ducked down behind the ridge.
Oh.
Yeah, he just kind of ducked down over this ridge here. Is neat. First, like, interesting animal sighting of the year. Oh, what are you? I don't actually know what you are, but you are so cute.
Like a ferret. Cute.
Nimble little guy. He's gone. Huh. Yeah. You can see how little I know about animals because I have no idea what that was. When you come across red Adirondack chairs in the national parks, it's usually a good sign that there's going to be a pretty view. I'd say that qualifies. Let's have a look at the House River, south towards House Pass. This was a fur trade route up until about 1810, when it sort of got surpassed by the Athabasca Pass up north towards Jasper as the primary trade route across the Rockies. And I guess that was partly because of a group of First Nations people who made it kind of challenging to use this area. They were trying to keep the fur traders from dealing with some of the other tribes in the area, so they were pretty aggressive, trying to chase people off. So that's why it kind of fell out of use. But hey, it's a pretty nice little spot for sure. Highway 11, well, where we were earlier, on the way down here, there's a small group of people in sort of like Rocky Mountain House, Red Deer area that want to extend Highway 11 through here all the way to Golden in BC.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Fortunately, they don't have a lot of support because
This is a national park?
this is a national park and they frown on building new roads, and it's economically completely unfeasible and has very little benefit, and would also just disrupt a huge area of relatively untouched habitat, mess with a lot of local species. So Fortunately, I'm fairly confident that's never going to happen, because seeing a highway going through here seems like it'd be a little, it'd be a nice drive, I guess, but it seems like there's not a lot of benefit to that. Anyways, in my opinion. Found a little patch of snow along the trail, and Cosley promptly plunked his ass down right there, because apparently it's warm out here when you're wearing a black fur coat. Does that feel good, buddy? Does that feel good? Yeah. Okay. Now he's ready. Hyped up, ready to go. Trail's getting a little sloppy. Okay, Cos, go on. Which is to be expected, because, you know, May long weekend. I am just wearing trail runners on this trip. I didn't bring any extra shoes to change into at camp or anything like that. I started using trail runners last year more and more, and I really like the way they feel as far as ease of movement and comfort. But obviously means you're more likely to get soaked feet. But they do dry extremely fast, so yeah. Oh yeah, okay, now I'm just going for it. Come on, Cosley. I don't know if you can hear the squelching sound, but I just sunk right in up to my ankles, so committed now. Soaked feet it is. Feels kind of nice, kind of refreshing. Oh, what's this? Just off the trail here. 1928 topographical survey, August 15. Huh. Can't really make out the rest. Looks like names, maybe? Major. Interesting. A little piece of history carved into a tree. It's kind of cool. Getting our first little glimpses of the lake. Just through these trees. You can feel a nice cool breeze blowing in off of it. It's still pretty covered in ice. Oh man, this is going to be beautiful. Really excited to get down to the water's edge here, because this is spectacular. Gonna camp that way. Oh man.
They didn't lie when they said this was beautiful.
Yeah, no kidding.
When I say they, I mean the collective intruder.
Cool little peak sticking up over there. And that back there, Southeast Lyle Glacier. Oh man. Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty good place to stay for a couple of nights.
Yeah, I agree. Wanna go swimming?
Not particularly. That lake looks a little bit icy still. So we made it to Glacier Lake. Danny's starting to get camp set all up. So they said there's no camp sites, it seems. Nothing sort of assigned. And like it's pretty uneven for the most part. There's not very many flat spots, especially for a tent as big as ours. So we had to take one kind of down near the water. Looks like a pretty nice site, I think. Anyways, this is a pretty awesome camp spot. And yeah, hopefully we're not breaking any rules by setting up where we did. We're the first people here, amazingly. I thought that for sure the place would be packed already, but guess not. Everyone else supposed to be on their way out today. Alright, here's the plan for dinner tonight. 2 cups of boiling water. Gonna add in some white cheddar broccoli sidekicks, a little bit of milk powder, get that going. There we go, gonna give that a little stir. Just let that cook up for about 7 minutes. Once it gets back to a boil. After that, we're gonna add a little sausage, sun-dried tomatoes, a bit of cheese, and some salt, pepper, and olive oil. Should be pretty delicious. Let's see how it all shakes out. Everything's starting to boil away there. Looks like a lot of water though, so we'll see. See how it all turns out. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see how it turned out. Looks like it might be kind of good.
I'll eat it.
Go for it. Let Dani go first that way if it's poison.
You're so kind.
Still kind of watery. How's it taste?
Pretty good.
Nice. Salt, pepper, hot sauce.
Probably a little bit of hot sauce.
Cool. Alright, let's do it. Alright, dinner time. That's a tuckered out puppy right there. It's okay. He earned his views today. What a perfect start to the backpacking season. Where's that glacier?
What was your favorite part of today, Evan?
This right now, I would have to say. I was super excited when I realized we were the first group here and we got to sort of pick our camp spot. Because it's one of the nicest ones we've had, I'd say.
I'd agree.
Yeah, there wasn't anything particularly interesting on the hike in. Like the house valley there was pretty nice.
It was red chairs.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, the red chairs at the house river. That was quite nice, but yeah, for the most part, it was a pretty uneventful hike. It's a great lake. Surrounded by these beautiful peaks.
Worth the green tunnel the whole way in.
Oh yeah. It was a nice dinner. We're just gonna relax a bit, I think. Take in some sunshine while we still have it. Maybe have some sort of warm beverage, hot chocolate or tea or something. And then
Take this guy to bed.
do like the Cos-Dog and get some sleep, because we are looking at a pretty big mileage day probably tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. One last look before we go in for the evening. It's only like 8:30, but we're just having a nice warm beverage. A little apple cider for me, a little tea for Dani. Enjoying the last glimpse of the sun on the mountains. Things have really quieted down. The wind stopped blowing. It's nice and still. Yeah, don't really know what else there is to say other than it was a great day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Wake up.
Why are you filming me? I'm sure I look beautiful.
Oh, hey guys. Cosley's ready to get up.
He's been ready to get up for like an hour and a half. Oh.
Alright, good morning. Morning of day 2. And we're off for a little stroll. Heading up towards that glacier over there. So there's like an official trail up in the trees here, but we think we're just going to wander along the beach as far as we can and see where it takes us. If we can get Cosley to come along. Looking sharp in your new pack there, Cos-Dog. seems to be okay with it so far.
Yeah, pretty content.
It's gonna be a good day. The weather's perfect. It's nice and sunny.
Starting to warm up a little bit.
Yeah. Probably dropped just below freezing last night, if that. And, yeah. How'd you sleep?
Good.
Good.
Cosley was up a few times in the middle of the night growling at something. But other than that, pretty good.
I'm trying out the Enlightened Equipment Revelation 10-degree quilt. Second time I've used it, and it's performing pretty well. I've always been a cold sleeper. Whoop! Watch where I'm going. I've always been a cold sleeper, so I woke up probably about 3 o'clock in the morning, a little chilled. But other than that, I was extremely comfy. It's super warm.
That's our tent.
Yeah. Nice little shot where we were camped. Right there. New tent. What was I saying? Right, I've always been a cold sleeper. My feet especially have always gotten cold, and they are toasty warm in that quilt. But I did get a little chill sort of up around my torso in the middle of the night, probably around 3 o'clock in the morning, the coldest part of the night. So, I mean, but I was just sleeping in base layer and some socks essentially. So if I threw a jacket on there or some warmer pants, I could probably pretty easily take that quilt down to its actual temperature rating of 10 degrees, which is what, about -15. Yeah, with a little bit more clothing, I could, I'm pretty sure, get it down to that point. So, seems like it was a good purchase. I definitely like the weight savings. It is very, very comfy. So, yeah, we'll see how far we get up along here. Eventually we might have to scramble in and find the trail if it gets sort of unpassable. And I guess there's a little bit of route finding and bushwhacking more so in the approach up to the glacier there. And, right now where we're standing is clearly like an avalanche slope. It's got crushed, I'm imagining, just recently. Maybe even this year, maybe a couple years ago.
I don't know, with all these down trees.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're clearly at the base of an avalanche area here. And a big pile of snow down there. So maybe that's the remnants of the avalanche actually right there. There's trees in it, so makes sense. Cool. Yeah, just standing right in it now. You can see the snow down at the base of the cliff. And all these trees kind of mixed in with the snow. I'd say it's a pretty good chance it's avalanche this year. That's cool. It's very neat. Over here somewhere is where the trail goes, but it's just a wall of collapsed trees.
Shows how powerful avalanches are.
Yeah. So, yeah, it could be kind of interesting. Start picking our way through all of this. Hopefully this is the only one of these we come across, because it's kind of tedious. Got back down to the beach after the avalanche slope. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it was.
Had to crawl over and under some trees. Fun stuff. Cosley made it look easy, of course.
Naturally.
Just having a little bit of water from the lake.
Does that water taste good?
Imagine it does. Ah, what a beautiful, beautiful day. This hike's been really nice so far. As much as possible, we're going to try to stay down on the shore here because, well, look at it. Made it to the far end of Glacier Lake. That's looking back around the point where we came from. Nice little beach here, actually.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Where the Glacier River feeds in. And to here is a really nice view Southeast Lyell Glacier. But not nice enough. We want to keep going. See if we can get in a little bit closer. Easy part's done. Now it's the hard part. Apparently the trail isn't particularly... It's kind of bushwhacky and might have to do a little route finding to really get ourselves sorted, head in the right direction. But we'll manage. We're just going to go that way until we get where we need to be. Well, this is a pretty cool little camp spot. Once you get past the far end of the lake, you are allowed to random camp in this area. And it looks like people do. A little fire pit. You've got a cooking grill on it. Someone left a little firewood. It's beautiful. Might come down and stay here sometime. Certainly scenic. Very nice. There seem to be some very active beavers in the area. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's been a nice gentle walk across or along this valley so far, with the Glacier River in beside us. Yeah, I'll come down a little bit closer to the plane here. It's a pretty river. It's that beautiful pale blue color that you get from the glacial flower of meltwater off of a glacier. Sediment floating in it. Seems like a nice spot to stop for a little snack. We popped Cosley's bag off so he could go hop in the water a little bit. And kind of sat down in it and he's like, nope, too cold. But
We were trying to get him to lay down, but it's...
Yeah, definitely, he's not panting at all anymore, so he seems to be a lot more comfortable. How about you?
I'm not panting either.
Good.
That's a nice walk.
Yeah, it's been great so far. You can just let him go, probably. Don't think he's gonna go too far. He loves the water, but just like sort of poking around the edges of it. He still hasn't tried swimming. Gets kind of freaked out when the water gets up to his chest level. Cosley, come here. Yeah, good boy.
You might lay down in that water.
Oh. What a perfect spot to stop for a little break. I can't believe how good the weather is for May long weekend.
It's unheard of.
Yeah. Last 2 years in a row we've been snowed out of our trip essentially because the weather has been so bad. But this year is perfect.
Makes up for the last 2 years.
Reminds me of the weather when we went to Minnewanka, which wasn't May long, it was the week after, but I think this one's taking the cake though.
I like how non-busy it is. Like from here out,
Yeah.
there's us and the family that we're camping with, Glacier Lake.
Yeah.
But really, there's nobody else, right?
They give away 5 permits for these for that campground, and they're all sold out. But I guess actually, in the end, it was full last night. Just a couple of groups showed up really, really late.
Getting deep, are we?
He's going out. That leash is going to be so gross. Oh, it's a stick. Yeah, good boy.
You gonna lay down in the water and running away, bud?
Hey, come back. You can't put it down. If there was any doubt, Cosley couldn't handle hiking. It's definitely gone now. His trail, it's been pretty much a steady bushwhack. But the Cos dog is handling it like a champ. Yeah. So the trail, I mean, you can find it, but it's not much of a trail. Oh, okay. Just stepped in a little boggy sections. My shoes soaked. So yeah, definitely a bit of an adventure. Should have maybe another couple of kilometers of this, I hope, and then it'll open up again. Oh, nice. We get to try to cross this log with the dog. Cosley. Okay. Okay, we might actually be back on the trail a little bit, sort of, kind of, maybe. We just walked up this stream for about, 100 meters, and it looks like it's semi-promising. Back on track. Onto the actual trail. Whew. Somewhere there was a spot where we had to cross over the stream, but we apparently missed it. Had to do a little bushwhacking. Things are going a lot smoother now. So we'll be following this on the way back. So the return track on the GPS, it's probably going to be the better one. If anyone wants to come out here, try to build your trip off of that. Oh. Yeah, nice to be actually moving at a decent clip again. Trying to get Cosley up and over all the deadfall and the down trees and all of that. It's a bit of a challenge, but he was a super champ and he made it look easy, all things considered. So it makes me feel good knowing that if we get into those sorts of situations, he can handle it. So we followed the trail until we lost the trail. Then we bushwhacked over until we found a trail again, and it opened up into the river valley again. So there is still a trail just going through the woods on our right, but as much as possible we're going to try to stay out in the open because the condition of the trail is very suspect. So the more we can be out in the open, I think the better.
Yep.
Look at that view. So it should be maybe a couple more kilometers to get some real nice views of the glacier. It'll be time to turn around and head on back. Going back should be a lot easier because we are just pretty much gonna stick to the river. Hopefully the trail will be a lot more obvious the whole way back. It goes that way sometimes. Oh, it's really turned into a beautiful hike when we got done with that bushwhacking garbage. Getting in nice and close to the glacier now. We're probably about, 8.5 kilometers in, 9 kilometers in. So we'll keep working our way up a little bit closer. It's what, 1 o'clock?
I don't know, but I've taken 15,000 steps.
Oh, that's pretty good. Means another 15,000 for the way back.
Yeah, it's just after 1.
Just after 1, okay. We do need to grab some lunch pretty soon here. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you want to do? Keep moseying along for a little bit. Don't really want to stop here because it's pretty windy. So, yeah.
Let's keep going for a bit.
Next little bit of cover we find, we'll probably stop, grab some lunch, then maybe a final push towards the glacier, and then boot it back to camp. Fortunately, camp's all set up, so nothing that we need to do when we get back. We just need to hang out and eat tacos. So that sounds pretty good. So we stopped for lunch a little while ago and marked the camp on the map. From there, we just had to bushwhack forward, trying to push our way towards the runoff lake at the base of the glacier. pretty sure it's just up over this ridge here now. But it's getting pretty late in the day, and I mean, I feel like that view's good enough. Oh my god. This hike has been pretty rough with all the bushwhacking, but payoff from the sights. It's definitely been worth it. It's kind of us in front of a glacier.
That's a glacier.
Made it. Ended up being a way harder hike than we thought it was going to be when we set out. Come on, cousin. Not that the hiking itself was all that difficult, just the trails in really rough shape. Lots of deadfall, so we had to do multiple little bouts of bushwhacking. So we didn't quite get all the way. Still, a pretty awesome spot. We passed a couple of really great campsites along the way, actually. I marked them with the GPS there, so if anyone is interested in doing some random camping past the lake, there's a couple of good sort of setup spots already. So, yeah, you can check that out. It's been such a great day. Really often awesome start to the season, I think. So right now it's time just to head back to camp. Hopefully it's gonna be a lot easier getting back because we're mostly just gonna be following the stream. We're gonna try to avoid as much of the bushwhacking and stuff as we can. And then it is Mexican night. We got tacos and queso, margaritas. It's gonna be a good evening. So we made it back to Glacier Lake. Breeze is picking up, which is nice. Really cooling us down. We stopped and put Cosley's hiking boots on because his paws were getting a little bit swollen, a little bit beat up. So make it a little bit more comfortable for him if we can. And we also figured since he's so tired, we could probably take him off leash for a bit. But apparently he's not tired at all now. He's running around like a crazy dog. Now that he's got freedom. He gets a funny little prancy step when you put the hiking boots on him. Does it feel weird on his feet, I guess. Yep, he still has energy. Yeah, I was worried there for a minute. He was, his ears were pinned back and his tail was down. He's looking kind of morose and beat up, but now he's super excited again. Back to his old playful self. There's waves of ice forming on the lake. That's just actually really beautiful. Oh, it's a sight for sore eyes. It's our tent. We're almost back. We're almost back. It's been a long day. I haven't looked at the GPS in a while, but I gotta think we're getting pretty close to 20 kilometers. If we haven't passed it already. Sleepy puppy. That's not where we left our tent. Our tent was over here.
Our tent was right here.
Over here?
I think it was right here, yeah.
Somewhere. Not there. Yeah, the wind picked up so much that it yanked all of the tent pegs and basically blew the tent into these trees over here. If it wasn't for those trees, it would have gone forever.
Thank you so much to
Yeah.
saved our tent.
Fortunately, some
rocks in there.
Some good Samaritans weighted it down. So.
They're spooky.
Yeah, scary stuff. Home for night number 2. We moved inland a little bit off of the beach. Give ourselves a little bit more security. That's one sleepy puppy. Dead dog. Whew, got a bit of a headache. So I'm going to hydrate some and get everything sorted, and then probably happy hour. Going in. Dan's getting the first bite of the long-awaited queso dip from Packet Gourmet. Verdict.
Delicious.
Go well with a margarita.
Oh yeah.
Good stuff. Another Dani Adventure.Happy original
Mexican night continues.
backcountry creation. What you got there?
Tacos.
What?
I don't know.
What's in them?
Some beef.
Uh-huh.
And there's some pepper and onions in the beef.
Nice.
And cheese. And salsa. And a little lettuce. Obviously the lettuce is not dehydrated.
Clearly.
Clearly.
Or rehydrated really well. Alright.
100%.
How was it?
Taco-rific. You need one.
Awesome. I will do that. Well, there's the view from our tent as we're going to sleep at the end of day 2. Not quite as nice, but we figured we'd play it safe and get a little bit more shelter in the trees.
Now that the wind has completely died down.
Yeah.
But
We probably would have been just fine. Yeah. But it was good actually to move the tent over and put out all the extra guy lines and everything, because it actually creates a whole bunch more space in here. You can see kind of these little spots here. That's where the guy lines attach, and really domes the roof up a little bit better, and yeah, it seems more spacious. I think.
What was that word?
I make words up.
So do I. That's why we work so well together.
I suppose. Cosley likes the view. Anyways, I think that's it. We ended up doing something like 22, 24 kilometers today. I don't know. I'll have to check on the GPS when we get back. But not a ton of elevation, but there was some obnoxious bushwhacking bits and things like that that made it fairly strenuous. And I gotta say,
And for the start of the year?
Yeah. I gotta say, for the Cos Dog's first real hiking trip, backcountry trip, he seems to be handling it pretty well.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Yeah. I am looking forward to getting back to home and just letting him sleep for like 2 straight days.
He's gonna need it.
I think he's gonna be pretty chill for a couple of days after we get back. That'll be nice. Alright, well, that's it for us. Thanks for coming along. And we'll film some more tomorrow on the way out.
Who needs an alarm clock when you got a puppy? It's about 6:30. He was just licking me in the face. What's that?
He's nice that way.
I think he wants to get out of this tent.
Alright, camp's all packed up. It's about 9 o'clock on Monday morning. Cosley's got his pack on, he's itching to go. Take one last look at the lake. And then we're about to get on the trail and head on home. The ice really came in a lot closer to the shore yesterday. There was a lot less of it too. Huge amounts of it melted yesterday because it was so warm. Yep, that's a quick shot. And we're going to get on the trail. Not sure how much I'm going to film on the way out because it's stuff we've seen. We're just following the exact same trail back out that we took in. So, how was it?
It was good.
Yeah.
Looking forward to coming back already.
Yeah, for sure. So we found some cool random camping spots at the far end of the lake. So that might be something that we'll look at doing in the future. But even just to come back here, since we actually know the route to take to get to the glacier, I mean, you can get out there and back in a long day hike from this spot. So yeah, who knows, maybe the same time next year we'll be back.
That would be good.
Yeah, cool. Ready to get going? Yeah, he's ready to get going. Okay, let's get on the road. So, made it back to the car after an uneventful hike out. On our way home.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Yeah, we're already thinking that maybe we'll try doing this again next year, or maybe even go past the lake and camp at some of those random camping spots. Just as far as somewhere you can get to early in the season like this, it's really, really nice. And the conditions were great, and yeah, I really, really want to get up to that glacier, so I have to come back for that. Got a very sleepy puppy back there. Passed out as soon as he got in the car.
Drank a liter of water once we got back to the car and then passed out.
Yeah, I know how he feels, but unfortunately we have to drive for about 4 hours to get home. And then, you know, do laundry and all that fun stuff that you have to do when you get back from a camping trip. But
Always worth it.
always, yeah, we're definitely bringing back some great memories and hopefully some decent video too, so.
Some good pictures anyway, hopefully.
Yeah. What's up next? What's our next trip?
2 weeks ago? 2 weeks from now? 3 weeks from now? We're going out to the Spray Lakes area in Kananaskis.
Nice.
And we're going to car camp and then do 2, maybe 3 hikes. We'll see what happens.
Sounds like it's going to be a busy weekend.
Should be. Should be a good weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm looking forward to seeing that campground. I hear good things, so.
Cool. All right, well, thanks for coming along for another Adventure.Happy trip. And, yeah, see you guys out on the trail sometime. Peace. Makes me so happy how much this dog loves the snow. He must be part fox. So cute. Good boy.